Okay, so we're doing page 5 of our Unit 7 notebook. You're going to have 2 packets, one that has vocab with pictures and one that has a bunch of stuff like this in it. From this packet, you're going to need the word cell membrane, pictures of that thing, and the lock and key. And from this packet, you're going to need the one that says cell membrane and then the 2 that say cell membrane. And that's what you're going to need to get started. So pause and get those cut out, and then come back with a pen or pencil and maybe some coloring supplies too. Okay, now that you have all of that stuff, you should be ready to go with the definition of a cell membrane. Okay, so set this stuff to the side. Cell membrane. The boundary, and boundary is just like a fence or the outside where the edge of things are. Think about if you're playing capture the flag or tag, where you're allowed to run to. The boundary that surrounds, that means goes around. The boundary that surrounds a cell and controls which substances, so what stuff can leave and enter the cell. Okay, so the cell membrane is also called a plasma membrane because of its not quite solid and not quite liquid state of matter. The cell membrane is double layered, which means it has how many layers? 2, yes. If our classroom was a cell, the cell membrane would be like the door and windows, because they decide what goes in and out of the cell. So you're going to go ahead and get that glued in at the top, and we have 2 pictures for this, and you're going to eventually need to color those. So go ahead and put that all the way up to the top, and then we have our 2 pictures. We've got the actual picture of the cell membrane, and then we've got our lock and key. So yes, you could put here how this represents the word. It's a picture of a cell membrane. I think it's more important that you describe how the lock and key describe the cell membrane. Okay, the next thing you're going to need is this definition page. You can go ahead and get that glued in. You're going to glue that in down in the bottom left corner. And then we're going to highlight just a couple really key words on there. So the fact that it's the outer layer of an animal cell. Plants have them too. And we're going to say controls movement in and out of the cell. And then next you've got your 2 pictures and information about cell membranes. And those are going to go, we'll put, actually, no, we can skip this one because we already have the picture of the lock and key, so get rid of that. Or get rid of that and put the bigger one, I don't care. But this one's going to go right above. Let's put it here. And we're going to actually write a little bit about the cell membrane in our notebook. So let me get a pen or pencil that I can write neatly with, since I have problems doing that. Okay. So we're going to write a couple points. Every cell has a cell membrane. That's a fact. It is outside of the cell and it holds it together. Holds it all together. We know that it controls the flow of material in and out of the cell, so we don't need to write that again. Think of that kind of like the gate to a castle. There's another analogy. This is a new word. It is semi-permeable. So let's think about what these words mean. Semi means like half or partial, and permeable means able to go through. We can also call that selectively, that's an E, permeable, which means it decides what goes in and out of it. So that means these both mean, which means it can let certain stuff through and keep other things out or in. Okay, so get that copy down, and then we're going to go down here, and we're going to write about what if this organelle went on vacation. So for the next page, hopefully I'll have a little spot for you for that, but you're going to have to write this time. What if the cell membrane took a vacation? So we're going to think about what would happen if there was no cell membrane. So anything would be able to leave or enter a cell. What else? A cell would lack structure. What does that mean? So if it didn't have structure, so if our school building didn't have structure, that means it would have no set shape, might fall apart. Probably would fall apart. Okay, so get that down. And that's all of page 5. I would also like you to color these cell membrane parts that are up here. You can also color the lock and key, but I like purple for this, just so that it stays consistent. So I used a darker purple on the outside and a lighter purple on the inside. And you can color it better than I did, but that's a good start. And you can do the same down here too. This is the same picture. Just so that we have some uniformity. So there you go, that's page 5.